You know, this is really interesting because as we talk about moments and methods, it is possible for you to miss your moment messing around with outdated methods, trying to do current day ministry and preach the consistent message. You got to be able to shift. You can't get stuck in a moment. You can't get stuck in a method because methods and moments change. And it's so important. Today we're in a different day, and I'm excited about some of the things that I'm even doing now that I'm involved in because the moment dictates it. We're now involved at our local church with an alternative to violence program where we've already reached over 900 kids just in the Chatham area and in various areas across the city. And it is impacting the way we do ministry. I'm even involved now in a cohort that's helping us develop how we reach millennials and how we impact the millennial generation and beyond. You do know there's an and beyond. Not only that, even into the jurisdiction, we've already begun to do things. We're giving grants to pastors to help them do better ministry, a greater ministry, to further the message. We're already making sure that our widows are part of a pension plan in our jurisdiction. We're giving kids more money so that they can finish school and see success in their lives. I thank God for the moment, but I must not allow myself to become stuck in the method. You ought to touch 9 people around you and say, don't get stuck with the method. It's dated, it's time to do something different, so that your message won't be missed, because the mission, the souls, they need to be ministered to. On last year, we fed over 5,000 people in one day. We're planning on doing more than that this year. The Church of God in Christ is a powerful organization. We are powerful. There is so much that we do globally, nationally, and locally. The jurisdiction that I serve, the Northern Illinois Jurisdiction, is 105 years old this year. And we're doing a bunch of things. I'm so excited. In a few minutes, I'm going to take you on a ride. I just want you to see some of what's going on in the Church of God in Christ here in Illinois. Illinois is phenomenal. Illinois is phenomenal. I didn't say North, that's Illinois. What a phenomenal place to serve in. And you're going to see we have tremendous leaders, we have tremendous churches, tremendous pastors. I'm just going to show you a couple. And I've got to take you to one of the things we're doing now. One of the most exciting things that's going on in Northern Illinois is the National Monument, Robert's Temple. You know, if you check out some of my earlier videos, I told you that the hand of the Lord is on Robert's Temple. Now I want to show you that the hand of the Lord is on Robert's Temple. And I want to show you that the hand of the Lord is on us as we look forward to what the Lord is doing in this season. Don't miss your moment. We're in a moment, people of God. Don't miss this moment. You don't want to miss this moment. Don't miss your moment messing around with outdated methods, because if you do, you'll miss the message and you'll mess up the mission. So I'm taking you on a journey. My roots in the Church of God in Christ are deep. And they spread in many directions. A lot of times people don't really realize that. Because time goes on and a new generation doesn't necessarily know what went on with the other generation. So my My dad, I just wanted to show you some of the churches that have impacted my life. My biological father was, he was a preacher, and his dad was a preacher. And they were all members that initially, when the jurisdictions here in Illinois split, and we could talk more about that maybe at some other time, but not for bad reasons, but just as the church evolved and they split. My dad's folks, they went to St. Paul with Bishop Ford. And that's who they stayed with. As a matter of fact, my grandmother, my father's mother, she was a member of St. Paul until her death. And Bishop Ford was the presiding bishop when he preached her funeral. And I never forget that night, because it was he and I in the pulpit. And he was the one that would preach her funeral. It was just me and him sitting with the presiding bishop. That was really interesting. And my grandfather and Bishop Ford were also very great friends. But let me go back to this. So when my dad, they stayed with St. Paul when my mom and my dad got married. My dad stayed with St. Paul. My mother, however, stayed at Friendly Temple. So now, my father is in, at that time, Central Illinois, or First Jurisdiction, as it would later become called. And my mother is in Northern Illinois. So I am a son, if you will, or a child of these two jurisdictions. Well, my father died suddenly, unexpectedly. He passed away. And after a couple of years, my mom remarried. Now she remarries a man that, he's in 5th Illinois jurisdiction. So the same thing still applies. He stays at the church I'm going to take you to now. He stays in 5th Illinois. At that time, the bishop was the Bishop F.G. Green. And my mom stayed at Friendly Temple. And so we remained in Northern Illinois. Now, this became quite an adventure for us kids, because a lot of times we didn't get the breaks that others got, because we went to 2 convocations, 2 district meetings, 2 workers' meetings, and the such like. And so that became quite involved. However, I am so grateful for my upbringing. It gave me an opportunity to see the church, and the Church of God in Christ in particular, in its various forms, especially here in Illinois. And the church that he went to was right here. It's just up the street. If I can make this light. Well, I'm not going to make this light because I don't want to run the light. Because I'm saved, y'all, and I don't want y'all to see me not being saved. But right up here, up the street, is St. Lawrence Church of God in Christ. Now, at that time, when my stepdad was a member, the pastor was Elder Hezzy Hudson. And so many people that'll see this video, they'll remember him right away. They're going to comment and say, yes, I remember Elder Hezzy Hudson. And Elder Crawley was the assistant pastor at that time. So now I'm going to tell you, they're going to say, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. And many of my friends and brothers and sisters, we grew up here in this part in 5th Illinois. This was perhaps my stomping ground, if you will, in 5th. Because remember, I was also in Northern. But here we go. St. Lawrence Church of God in Christ. What a tremendous church. It's pastored by Pastor Nichols now. What a tremendous man he is. But this is a tremendous church. It has such a wonderful history. The St. Lawrence Church of God in Christ. And this is where my stepdad went. We spent many a day, many a night services here. After I would leave day services at Friendly Temple, or if they canceled service at Friendly Temple at that night, we'd end up here. And thank God for all of the brothers and sisters. I'm not going to start calling them, because if I call them, I got to call all of them. And if one of them sees this video and I didn't call them, oh my goodness. And so this has always been a blessed church of mine, St. Lawrence Church of God in Christ. I have such an affinity and a love for this church. And God bless the saints, present and former, for St. Lawrence Church of God in Christ, one of the churches that have birthed out many ministries and birthed out works, and their pastors and superintendents and evangelists, missionaries that have come from that church and have gone on to just do tremendous works in the Lord. Now, again, I told you that my biological father, he never left St. Paul, and his family never left St. Paul. They remained members of the St. Paul Church of God in Christ until their death. All of them, they did, except I did have one aunt that came over to join me. But other than that, they all remained members of St. Paul Church of God in Christ. So I'm getting ready to chart a course now for St. Paul, and that's where we'll go, and we'll enjoy what happens when we're at the St. Paul Church of God in Christ.